The Vegas Golden Knights are going to the Stanley Cup Finals. They've defeated the Winnipeg Jets in the Western Conference Final. In today's video, we're going to recap the series, discuss how Vegas made it this far. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. The Vegas Golden Knights story continues and they're going on to the Stanley Cup Finals. They've defeated the Winnipeg Jets in 5 games. Obviously after losing game 1 against Winnipeg, Winnipeg looked to be off to a flying start after their long, grueling 7-game series battle against the Nashville Predators. But Vegas stormed back, took control of the series, and have now defeated the Jets after winning 4 consecutive games and putting them out 4 games to 1. It's quite a story, this Vegas team. A lot of people have been waiting for the clock to strike midnight here in the Vegas Golden Knights, and it's yet to happen. I know I've seen quite a mixed reaction on social media between a lot of fans jumping on the Vegas bandwagon, being super happy for them that their first season has been so incredibly successful. Then we get quite the opposite as well. There's a lot of Vegas haters online that I've noticed that kind of just don't seem happy at all that a new team is having so much success. And there's a lot of different opinions as to why. Maybe it's too fast, too soon. Other fan bases have been waiting for their teams to break through for X number of years. And yet here we go in season 1. Vegas fans are being treated to this long playoff run and a berth in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, you know, I kind of see both sides in a way. I understand why other fan bases would be upset. But you know what? Don't take it out on Vegas. It's not their fault that your team hasn't broken through yet. There's all kinds of fan bases that have been starving for a Stanley Cup win for a long time. There's many teams in the NHL that have yet to win a Stanley Cup. There's many that haven't won it in a long time. There's some that have never even made it to the final. So, you know, it's one of those cases where we should all be happy for Vegas. I think this is an incredible story. At the end of the day here, I think George McPhee did a way better job than a lot of us gave him credit for in the expansion draft. I know when Vegas first revealed their expansion draft picks last summer at the NHL Awards, I was really quite surprised. I thought that they really overlooked a lot of top players, and I wasn't convinced that this Vegas team was going to be so successful right off the bat. I really don't know of anybody. I don't think anybody could have predicted that they'd be this successful. I mean, even a lot of Vegas fans, you know, would have been happy with probably, you know, 28 to 30 wins in a season, you know, maybe 70 points or something like that, you know. I thought, I wasn't even convinced they would necessarily be in the basement of the league, but I certainly didn't think they'd be at the top of the league. On paper, before this season started, they didn't, I don't know, I really didn't think that Vegas would be this strong. But they've really come together well, and a lot of these guys just, you couldn't have predicted this because a lot of these players that are having breakout years, they never got this opportunity before, so they've never had the chance to shine. I mean, some of them, you know, have experience in breaking through. Like, why did the Florida Panthers make Jonathan Marchessault so available? I'm not sure. I mean, 30-goal scorers don't grow on trees. They're hard to come by. Why they made him available, I don't know. Obviously, you get James Neal, who was fairly experienced. But a lot of these other, like William Karlsson, I mean, William Karlsson had a tremendous breakout year this year. He never had the opportunity to play such a big role in his previous team with Columbus. So, I mean, obviously Karlsson, you couldn't have predicted that. I mean, Riley Smith had struggled a bit in Florida before, so you couldn't have predicted he'd bounce back like he did. And some of these defensemen just never had a chance. Like Nate Schmidt, he's an absolute beast back there. And he was, you know, number 6, number 7, kind of in and out a lot with Washington. Never really had a huge role by any means. And you know, of course, you get the backbone of the team, Marc-Andre Fleury, who's been an absolute beast and a wall back there, just shutting everything down. Like, I don't think any of us could have predicted this because a lot of these guys just never had the opportunity to show us what they could do before this season. A couple of big reasons why the Vegas Golden Knights were able to get by the Winnipeg Jets. The biggest one, in my opinion, is Marc-Andre Fleury. I don't think this team would have been making it so far without him. I mean, yes, there's all kinds of players that have put up great performances, but none better than Fleury, in my opinion. He'd be the leading contender to win the Conn Smythe Trophy at this point in time, for sure. Fleury's been an absolute wall back there, an absolute beast mode every game, just shutting everything down. He really was hard on the Winnipeg Jets and took away a lot of glorious opportunities. I don't know how many times I was just watching these games in this series, just couldn't believe some of the saves Fleury was making back there. The Vegas Golden Knights were obviously very, very opportunistic. I mean, they played a very pretty solid defensive play throughout most of the series, and they caused a lot of turnovers. And some of the turnovers they capitalized on weren't even ones that they forced per se. The Jets kind of were getting sloppier and I think getting tired, running out of gas. as this series went on, and when they turned the puck over, Vegas made them pay for it. I mean, a lot of Vegas goals came off neutral zone turnovers, and they made the Jets pay at every opportunity. It seemed like if the Jets made a mistake, Vegas was taking it and putting it in the back of the net to make them pay, and that was a huge thing in this series. I think after the long 7-game series that the Winnipeg Jets had to go through with the Nashville Predators, I think they eventually ran out of steam. Game 1 they came out, I think they were probably still running on adrenaline at that point. They get the job done in Game 1 versus Vegas. After Game 1, where the Winnipeg Jets were successful in defeating the Vegas Golden Knights, I even had said myself, as well as in the comment section, indicating that I still had concerns over Winnipeg, not so much over their play, but over their stamina and the fact that I was worried they were going to run out of gas. After coming off that big Game 7 win in Nashville, I thought they were probably running on a bit of a high, and I didn't know if they would be able to come back and have the energy to go through a longer series with Vegas and outlast this team. As much as I think they physically have the ability, there's a lot of things to like about the Jets. And I think in different circumstances, maybe they could have won. But I think that 7-game series against Nashville really took a lot out of Winnipeg. And that Game 1 victory was more so running on a high, running on adrenaline. Once they kind of came back down to life, or back down to normal here a little bit, things settled down and Vegas just took over, and it's just that simple. Winnipeg Jets fans, I think you have a lot to be optimistic and excited about. Obviously, this was your first successful run at playoff hockey in a long time, and you have nothing but a great team here to be proud of. I think they had a tremendous breakthrough season. A lot of their stars are quite young. I mean, you've got a young goalie in Connor Hellebuyck in net who really broke through this year, a Vezina nominee. You found the goalie of the future for sure, so you have that to be happy about. A lot of your defensemen really put up solid seasons. I mean, you get Dustin Byfuglien back there. Trouba, Morrissey had proved to be pretty solid back there. I mean, you've got Tyler Myers. You've got a lot of guys back there that are young and really effective in their roles. So you have a lot to be optimistic about on the back end. Up front, you've got, I mean, Mark Scheifele, really, what a beast he was in the playoffs. He scored a ton of goals. You've got Patrick Laine, Nikolai Ehlers, Blake Wheeler. You know, they've got a lot to be happy about. Kyle Connor had a breakout year as well, scoring 30 goals as a rookie. I think this Winnipeg Jets team is going to be a force to be reckoned with for a long time, and Jets fans, you have a lot to be happy about. Now, Vegas Golden Knights fans, your team's going to the Stanley Cup. The clock has not struck midnight. This season continues. What a story it's been. It's been incredibly fun to watch. We don't know who your opponent's going to be yet. It's either going to be the Caps or the Lightning. As I record this is after the Game 6 victory by the Capitals to force Game 7. So the good news is no matter who you play, they're going to a long, hard-fought 7-game series where they're going to, the team coming out of that series is going to probably be tired and beaten up. The Stanley Cup Finals are slated to get underway. I believe it's May the 28th, so there will be a bit of a break. So Vegas is going to end up with about a week off. The team from the East is probably going to end up with about 3 to 4 days off. So either way, there should be a decent break here, and we should be excited for some excellent hockey in the Stanley Cup Finals. So if you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams. There's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. If you haven't done so already as well, check us out on Twitter. You're going to find our Twitter handle on the screen right here. We love engaging with hockey conversations on Twitter with our viewers, so check that out. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.